is the time. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Aluwalia from Aluwalia Law Offices. 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. So if there is any question related to employment and family-based immigration matters, family law, corporate law, or civil matters, please give us a call. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. With that, do want to welcome Pallavi on the airwaves of Fun Asia Radio 104.9 FM. A very good morning to you, Pallavi.
A great morning to you, Meetu. Thank you so much for hosting me. Glad to be here this morning with Your Business Matters.
Absolutely my pleasure. And do want to ask you about a very, very busy morning that you've had. So I know that you have been on Fox National Radio since morning. You have given many interviews. So please tell us the great and the serious cause that you have put light on. Please speak about it for our listeners. Yeah.
Surely. So what's going on currently, and this is something that's making headlines, is that while immigration agents are coming up for deportations, we're having less and less victims as well as witnesses to crimes that are speaking up at the and especially the ones that are undocumented. Strangely, also the ones that have some legal statuses here, but may be surrounded by some undocumented people. So we have fewer reports of domestic violence, and that is causing a little bit of a concern as to what's going on. But we've heard stories, and we know that there are people like that that have come into this country illegally from different countries, and they've become a part of this country and a booming immigrant community that exists around us. And if their partner is a lawful permanent resident or a U.S. citizen, they're always reminded that they could be deported if they went to the police. And so today's call or today's interviews that I had with Fox National News was talking about what's going on and whether the federal enforcement is causing this to be an issue. And truly it is. I think, but a lot of people that are victims of domestic violence or any other crime don't realize that there are immigration options that come out from that as well. And those could be the U visas that are given to people that help out the enforcement people and stand as witnesses so they can file for U visas. If you're undocumented and you are a victim, you are allowed to use that and file for it. So I think we need some public service messages, and this is to the larger immigrant communities that are undocumented. And I think a lot of them are in the I would like to say in the Hispanic communities too. There are a lot in the South Asian communities as well. And this is a call out to everyone to not just think that you have to deal with it or you'll be deported, because there are options for you.
Excellent, Pallavi, and thank you for bringing it forth, because I know, as you said, many people don't even know that something like U visa exists. So thank you for pointing it out. If they want to find out more about it, can they get in touch with you? How does it work?
Yes, absolutely. So these are for victims of violence. They're also T visas, and these are for people that have been trafficked here. There is also VAWA, and this is their V visa. So there are several options here, but the fear that paralyzes the people is not, I think, the lack of options. It's probably more, and sadly so, psychological, and that someone has to just get past that and find strength to take action, and at the cost of their own safety. They have to.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing it with our listeners, and we'll make sure that we speak about it every now and then so that more and more people come to know about it and maybe help their family or friends, whoever is in trouble.
Surely, absolutely. And so, Meetu, I know we are open for calls and questions that anyone may have for us. Do I have time for giving more updates?
I think, Pallavi, I'll give you time in between, and let's start taking the calls, because there are people calling in, and I know people get impatient. And let's first start taking calls, and I'll find time for you in between.
Surely.
All right. Once again, number in the studio, 972-235-5555. And if you have a question, a legal question that you want to ask Pallavi on the airwaves of Fun Asia Radio, please give us a call, 972-235-5555, number in the studio. You are live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi there. This is a question about H4 EAD. Can I can I become a small business owner if I have H4 EAD? Yes, you can be, but you have to be careful. June is the month where we're expecting announcements from the government removing the H4 EAD as it exists for right now. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. You can become a small business owner. You can do whatever. It's an EAD that you can use to work in any fashion. However, the longevity of this visa or this category or this benefit is not predicted at this time. Okay, got it. So, will you have retire soon about the Yes, yeah. So just stay tuned, and I'm sure I, as well as other lawyers in the community, will make this announcement. It does impact a lot of our H4s around us here in the Dallas-Fort Worth community. So we're going to give you the news when it happens, of course, and I'll come on the air and I will say that. Or you can also follow us on our we blog from our website, so there'll be small articles that are from my desk that we post. So just stay in touch. That way you know what's going on with it. And it may be that if you already have an EAD, and this is just a prediction, that they may allow you to run it out completely and without allowing you to extend your status. But to make new plans based on something that may be going away, that's not really suggested at this time. Okay, got it. All right. Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio. So we were getting a lot of calls right now. All the calls suddenly dropped. So we are going to encourage for all of you to give us a call, 972-235-5555, and you will get a chance to ask your question. So Pallavi, I'm going to take the opportunity to let you update us about the thing that you want to talk about.
Yes. So we're getting a lot of calls from people that are getting frustrated with the EV2 lines, which are long wait for people who want their green card and that are planning on doing the EB5. I think it is a good strategy still, and there are a lot more things that are going on even locally for investment purposes. So that's something to consider and definitely take it on.
All right. Thank you very much for that update, and going to open all the lines for you all to call 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. You are live on air. Is there a way, because there is a lot of disturbance, is there a way you can turn off the speaker so that we can hear you better? Nation Radio, you're live on air.
Hello.
Yes, you are live on air. Is there a way you can, turn off the speaker and speak to us? All right. I think there is so much disturbance. He can't hear us, and probably we won't be able to hear him clearly.
Yes, there was a lot of feedback and disturbance on that line. Let's take the next call.
All right. Next caller, you are on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question to Pallavi.
Hi. I wanted to ask a question about H1B. So I'm currently on H4 EAD, and but I did file my H1 with my consultant last year in the consular processing. So I'm not effectively on H1. I'm sorry.
Have you taken on the H1B yet or not yet?
No, I'm not on H1B yet. So it's a consular processing. So I need to basically come on it. But my question is, my consultant is saying that since you are not in H1B right now, I need to revoke the pay.
So the H1B is like a job offer to you that an employer gets for you, a petitioner gets for you. Consulting companies should not have just prospective hires without actually having work for them. That puts them in trouble. So if you don't intend to use your H1B and it has been approved and it's gone past the October 1st of 2017 date, then you should be okay to be able to still join another employer, and that visa number will not go back into the system and it will still belong to you.
So basically I will not have to go into lottery again, right?
Correct. If it had been approved and it went past the lottery year, so basically if you got selected last year and
Yes.
it went past October 1st of last year, then that is a number that will belong to you, and your employer, if you don't show up and you're not working there, has the right to withdraw it.
Okay, so I just need to take the details, some, so that if I want to later on use the same H1 number, then I can use it, right, as an H1 transfer.
You have to do it. You have to have an approval notice for you to be able to show that you were cap counted.
Okay. Thanks, Pallavi.
Thank you very much for your call. Going to our next caller. Once again, the number in the studio, it is 972-235-5555. You can schedule your appointment with Pallavi or her team at frontdesk@ahluwalialaw.com. You have to send a mail, or you can simply call at 972-361-0606. That's the number that you can call. All right, you're live on air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question is regarding my wife's H1 expired back in 2012, and she didn't extend. So she had around 1.5 years left in H1, but then she moved, came with me in an H4 status back in 2014. So is there a time limit in which we can reinitiate that H1 which was expired back in 2012, or it is all the time limit is gone?
No, if she has that, so she's not used her complete 6 years yet, right? She still has remaining time?
Yeah, 1.5 years is still left.
Correct. And she was cap counted once. So there is a generic way that you would make that request. So the law allows you, as long as you were cap counted any time in the past 6 years and you have not used all of your time, you are allowed to recapture your time. So she should have that time available to her based on that.
Okay, and it need not be done by the same employer itself, right? It can be done by a different employer.
By any employer. That's a remaining part of her 6 years. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your call. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi.
Yeah.
My question is, I have a I-140 approved, and another employer is offering me an opportunity. But given the visa extension scenario that's going on these days, like I'm hearing a lot of RFEs are coming in and all that, how safe it is, or can I transfer based on my previous I-140, and how safe it is to transfer at this point of time?
Okay, so your question for the part about the I-140 approval and whether you can transfer, we're talking about transferring a priority date here. Has it been approved for over 180 days, your I-140?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that belongs to you. That priority date belongs to you. So whenever you go on to another employer, it's not transferring it. Your next employer will have to reinitiate the entire process, which involves the recruitment process, the perm process, and then get the I-140 approved and ask for the older priority date for this particular I-140 that you still have approved. And once that's approved...
But my question was about the H1 transfer. I-140 is fine, but how about the H1 transfer?
Well, the H1 transfers, any H1, whether you're extending it or transferring it or amending it, has the same level of scrutiny. So even with this employer, when you come up for an extension or an amendment, you're going to have the same level of scrutiny. So it's a call that you have to make based on what is good for you, whether it's this is a better employer, this is an end user of your service, or it is a consulting company. I think all of those things should be part of your judgment to see whether you want to join the next employer or not.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on air. Please go ahead and ask your question. Can you please turn off the radio before you ask your question?
Yeah, I need to apply for my wife. So I have a question regarding that. Is like, say, I came back here in 2016, so I need to apply for my wife. But I have a son of 8 years, so can I apply for my wife with my son in it?
Okay, so just real quick, what's your status, sir? Are you what is your status?
Green card holder.
You're a green card holder, right? So as a green card holder, you don't have to do a separate petition for your child, but the moment you become a U.S. citizen, then you have to. So the law is a little strange when it comes to making these differences, but once you're in a preference category, so your spouse can bring along the child, and that's how that would be sponsored. So there would be one I-130 that needs to be done for her, and that should be able to involve your child too. However, keep abreast with the changes, because there are changes that are always underway, and you must be aware of it before you do your sponsorship. So your presence outside the country, you're saying that you were out recently and you just entered the country again?
No, I'm right now in the U.S., right?
You are in the U.S. Okay. All right. So yes. So if you have permanent residence, and you can sponsor your spouse who's abroad. It's a two and a half year wait.
Thank you very much for your call. Moving on to our next caller. Once again, the number in the studio, it is 972-235-5555. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia. We highly encourage for all of you to visit their website, which is ahluwalialaw.com, to get in touch to get the appointment. The number to call would be 972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, my name is Neha. I'm on H4 visa. I'm going to India after 9 years, and I'm going for stamping. Just was wondering, will there be any issues?
So your issues come from your husband's status. So any H4 is a dependent by itself. It should not have any issues. But after a while, if there's a scrutiny, did your husband get his H1 done recently? Has he been stamped recently?
No.
He has not been stamped. Yeah, so it may be a time that they do make sure that whatever stated on the petition is accurate, and they do use the H4s to inquire a little bit more on the H1B. Is your husband with a consulting company, or is he working directly for a company?
He's working for a consulting company.
Okay, so his petition should have, or his approval should be where he is currently located. So all you have to be aware of is that they may ask you more questions about your husband being able to maintain his status, and that may be through his job.
Okay. So, other than that,
other than that, you should be all right. But it is a main part of your review. And it is possible that the government ignores it completely and does not ask you any questions related to your husband, but it is quite possible that they do. This is just the level of scrutiny that we have at this point, even with the Department of State, which is the consulates.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for your call. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, my name is Rupak. Actually, I have a quick question. So my wife is in H4 and I'm in H1, and my H1 just got extended till 2021. But meanwhile, last year I filed her H1 through my previous employer, and it still shows that it's pending. We received RFE, we sent the documents, but it still shows that it's in the document we have received. That's it, no other status from last year. So my question is if she's traveling.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Finish.
No, I was saying if she visits now to India, when she has a valid H4 now because my H1 got extended, will it be a problem because she has one H1 pending from last year?
No, that should be okay. That's a separate request, and it's an offer from an employer. So my thought here is, are you only checking online? Because online is not accurate. The government does that at its discretion. They don't have the customer service behind them right now that's pushing them to provide excellent service. So they slack off on making those updates which are online that show the approval or the receipt. So I would not trust it. I would follow up with the employer who had filed for her. And if it's been pending for that long, then there is a concern that I have that it may already have had a decision on it, whether it's an approval or a denial. You need to check with that employer. But I would not trust that online status at all.
Okay, but because I left that employer, so now they are not kind of responding that properly. So is there any other way than checking the employer to get the status?
If you have a receipt, if you have the receipt number, the receipt notice, then you can do a FOIA request, which is under the Freedom of Information Act request, and ask for a copy of the approval or decision.
Okay, perfect.
All right?
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Phanesia Radio. You're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, I have a question for Pallavi. My company filed my firm and I-140 almost a year back on a senior developer position. And then, almost after a year back, my role got changed and they have filed another firm and they have to file another 140. So, if I plan to change my company, I'm just trying to understand that. Will that 180 days rule going to matter? I have to have 180 days rule before getting my second I-140 approved? And the second question I have is, say for example, if my previous role was senior developer and I'm going to a new company and they are taking me in a different role, will they be able to port my I-140 date or not? Will that rule matter if we are moving the company? So these are my two questions.
Okay, of course. So, so for the second question first, which is that if the second company has to give you the same position, the answer is no. And on the first question as to how long you have to wait, so you have to have that. It's not a requirement that you have the first company give you an approval, but if you're trying to get the priority date of this first company, which is about to happen, or if it's close or it's relevant at this point, then yes, waiting that 180 days is going to give you the priority date or a fix it for you. And then when you move on to the second company, then that same priority date could be ported over if you waited for it for 180 days. If it's still not filed, it's not even something that's a date right now, then you're welcome to go on to the second company and do your filing, and you don't have to go through a title. It is what the job offer the second company does give you.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate it.
All the best to you.
Thank you very much for your call. Pallavi, we have exactly 40 seconds to go. Do you have a final update for our listeners here?
Yes, so this is to everyone out there, though I have my fingers crossed about the H4 EAD. The people that are running their businesses on H4 EAD that may not be able to do so anymore, and I know we have a fair share of those sets of clients, they must make their plans to pass on their businesses. So that's something that they have to come up with a strategy currently, given what's coming up for them.
Thank you very much, Pallavi. And for our listeners, once again, Pallavi comes on air every Wednesday between 10 to 10:30. And beyond the show, you can get in touch with her by calling the front desk manager and take your appointment. 972-361-0606 is that number. And the website is aluvalialaw.com. Thank you very much, Pallavi, for doing this for the community every day.
And thank you so much for hosting me so well, as you always do. Thank you, Meetu.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.